good Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. Here we are, a couple of days from KubeCon beginning. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Have you packed yet?
I'm not ready. I'm going to be cold, but outside of that, I'm ready, yes.
Oh, we should take a look at the forecast. I haven't taken a look at that. Hi, by the way, my name is Darren. This over here is Victor, and we're the host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox that releases on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. Except this week, it came out at 5 a.m. Eastern. Time change. I had it scheduled for 6 a.m., but I scheduled it on Saturday for 6 a.m. Time changed on Sunday, and I didn't go back to check to see if it was still 6 a.m. or not.
In other words, nobody's watching this on East
Nobody
Coast
cares.
right now.
Yeah, nobody cares. Not a big deal. And when we're here on Fridays, which we will not be next Friday because Victor will be in beautiful Salt Lake City, probably freezing his fingers off, we get together and just talk about news of the week. In this case, the past 2 weeks, which is basically almost no news, except for a couple of AI things. Go figure. It's all AI nowadays. It's all ball bearings.
Of course it is.
That's okay.
AI is even writing those silly news about AI. It's a circle, man.
It's all inception. It's the snake eating its tail, right? It's just in a circle. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get into it because there's not much really to talk about this week, which is sort of unfortunate because I was hoping that we would see some, sort of like how Apple did their product releases. That was last week, I think. All the weeks are running together now. They had basically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then their numbers were released on Thursday. So are you going to buy a new Mac Mini or are you going to wait?
I'm going to not buy it. I mean, I would definitely buy it if I would need it. It's just that I don't need the machine.
Don't need it.
And I mean, my desktop machine, the one that I use the most, is M1. And I see no reason. I'll probably buy when it gets to M10 or something like that. Or more likely when it stops working. It's just such a good machine. NEM chips are so good.
I think that's what they're going to be running into is I've got an M1 Studio, Mac Studio. I've got an M2 Mac Studio, and I have an M1 Mac Mini. And I don't need to upgrade. They're all base models. I don't need to upgrade.
No, if you buy anything but the base model, there's something wrong with you.
Unless you need storage. But now, those new M4 chips with Thunderbolt 5, you don't need the storage as much anymore.
I mean, you slightly increase storage and you slightly increase memory.
Oh, yeah.
And for that price, you can buy two Mac Minis.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw people talking about it as like a $1 difference. It was cheaper by $1 to buy two of them instead of buying the matching memory. Yeah, I don't know.
I know it's not the same performance and stuff like that, but out of principle, if I would need more storage, I would either not buy Mac Mini or buy external storage. Yeah. Out of principle.
Yep. Karen, good to see you. Bogdan, you as well. It's still, okay, so everybody's saying evening. It's still morning where I am. I'm still getting used to that, even after a few months. It's still morning. 2 weeks ago, we talked with, who was it? I forgot. Oh, Reese from Mend about Renovate. If you're not using Renovate, you should if you're not using Dependabot. If you're not using Dependabot or Renovate, are you even a coder anymore? I don't know if Victor would agree with that or not. I think you're muted.
I think that if you're not using, I cannot say if you're not using Renovate. If you're not using Renovate or Dependabot, just to avoid now entering into discussion what is better, what is worse. If you're not using one of those two, there's something wrong with you. Or you don't know about them. And in that case, you might want to listen.
Right. In this week's The Laws of Software Evolution, we went through a paper, actually an article in an IEEE magazine from 1984. 84? No. 80, because it's 44 years this year. We tried our best. We failed miserably, but hey, it was another...
What can you do? We fail most of the time anyways, so aren't we used to it?
We are, yes. Kyverno, 2 weeks ago, launched 1.13. There was one thing that I saw, it was how they laid it out here, SIG store bundle verification. So now, using Kyverno, it will start verifying things for you automatically. I like that. I mean, if this is supposed to be the rules engine, why not have it do everything? You're muted, by the way, if you're talking.
No, I'm just laughing to myself.
Okay. Laughing to yourself because?
Doesn't matter. It's private.
Good enough. That's all I need. Exceptions for validating admission policies and even more. So if you're using Kyverno, probably good to look at. Again, their top one to me is the biggest one. It's just let it do everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I wouldn't be surprised that they were the first ones to actually introduce six-store verification of some form or another to admission controllers.
That's right. Kyverno 113. I doubt 114 will come out next week. So this was their lead up into KubeCon. I don't expect to see anything else. Everything else is going to be quiet. OpenCost is now into incubation, which we had on the guy from KubeCost forever ago, before it got renamed to OpenCost. So if you are going to KubeCon and this is interesting to you, like spending money should be interesting to you, unless you are working for OpenAI.
Spending or saving money?
Well, they're the same with OpenCost.
If you save, you can spend.
Exactly. You can reallocate. So anyway, OpenCost moving to incubation. That's it. 2 AI things. IBM releases open AI agents for resolving GitHub issues. So it will automatically resolve your GitHub issues. Now, I don't know if this AI agent basically goes to the issue and then just closes it. Is that how they resolve the issue? Or if it's actually doing the work. They're doing the work, by the way.
This is so incredibly useful, but I cannot believe it works. I don't believe it. I don't believe that there is such a good AI that is going to reliably close the issues. Because the last thing I want is to have an issue closed without me wanting to close it. What would be even the criteria?
That's what I don't know. It's like, okay, so the criteria to me, number one, is the issue would actually have to be written correctly. Because I could write a bad issue that could do a security injection and it would just auto-resolve it for me. I don't like that idea.
I don't get it. And also because, the only issues I've seen being resolved without any actions, right? Because I assume that that's what it's doing, right? Oh, I'm going to close this issue. It must be either because I'm not going to work on it, or it's stale, or it's not an issue. And I cannot imagine. No, closing stale issues, that's not a problem. We already have mechanisms to do that. And I cannot imagine AI figuring out what are the issues I'm never going to work on. Or what is not an issue. If this works, I'm going to eat my head. I mean, I'm going to say that I will never say anything wrong about something, but I cannot imagine it working.
The issue would have to be written in such a perfect way in order for the agent to actually find and fix. I mean,
yeah,
hey,
because kind of like, let's face it, most of the issues you saw in your life were clear from the start. You knew exactly what the issue is and what should be done, right?
Yeah, as soon as an issue comes in, I'm done in 5 minutes. I spent most of that time just writing up the documentation. No, that's not true. I said the word documentation at the same time. That should have been the clue that it wasn't true. So it's interesting. First pass. Okay, great. But then Google also released something from Project Zero that they were able to find an exploitable stack buffer underflow, not overflow, underflow in SQLite or SQLite or SQLite, however you want to say it. And they were just able to put it in not a PR because SQLite doesn't accept PRs, but they responsibly disclosed it and had it fixed before it was actually even shipped. They were looking at a dev branch. Now, unlike the IBM closing GitHub issues, to me, this is more interesting. Because if I can point a model, a set of models at a repository and say, go hunt, that to me is worth its however much energy I need to burn on that. What do you think about that?
No strong opinion, to be honest.
Really?
No.
Wouldn't this be a better... Okay. I guess you're not on the security side as much.
I'm also trying to read what's on the screen. Okay.
Oh, I know it's so small. Okay. Anyway. Wouldn't you like, though, to not have these security issues pop up? Wouldn't you like to be able to have a release to where when your next release of X comes out, not X, Twitter, but X comes out, and then all of the security scanners that you know that people are using, Sneak, Trivy, you name it, all of them, right? They all don't have the same history. Wouldn't it be nice when you put out a new release and all the scanners fire off on it, they don't find anything?
That would be perfect. Just, I'm not sure how that is possible either.
Well, I don't either, but...
Yeah. I mean, if the question is, Victor, do you want to never have any security issues in anything you do without any extra additional effort on your side? It's a big yes. I mean, there is no person on earth that would say no. Right? Is that the promise?
I don't know that that's the promise, but I think it's getting there.
Yeah. I need to dive into it more.
Yep.
To understand what they're really trying to say.
Well, unfortunately, we can't get our hands on it yet. That would be the fun thing. But it goes through and explains everything and how it found it and where it found it, and off it goes. Here's how I think about it. I'm still amazed that it's able to do that level of work 24/7. I don't have to do squat. Right?
That's true.
Give me PRs. It's like I was watching a video the other day about a warehouse to where they were using robots for all the picking. They would bring all the containers over and humans would actually do the packing just as a verification. And the robots run 24/7. So the people go home at the warehouse isn't human manned 24/7. It's only there like 10, 12 hours. The other 12 hours, the robots are running overnight, doing all the picking. So when the humans get in the morning, then they're just doing the verification and getting it shipped. That's what I think about this. It's like if I can always have it doing that kind of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah. Especially when you're not working.
Right. When I'm not working. Hello to everybody else that's joined in.
Hey.
Well, we have quite the role. Anyway, I thought this was a good post. It's a very long post. By the way, all the links that we're going through today have already been posted in the episode description on YouTube, so you can go through and look at them whenever you want to. I thought this was, compared to, and I couldn't find the official IBM post for this. I tried and I couldn't find it. This one coming from Google was much. It's like the other one was like, yeah, so what? Because as you were saying, I mean, it's cool, but it's like, okay, there's other ways to do those things today already. This is different. This is stacking up fuzzing with AI with everything else. That's valuable.
So if the question is which one of the two, I think it's more likely to be good or to exist or to do what's advertised or to be useful. Yeah, definitely Google wins in this case.
Yeah. Anyway. And they walk through the whole thing. So there we go. One tool this week, we're speaking about GitHub, zizmor. I think I'm saying that right?
Zizmor, okay.
Zizmor. And I haven't installed it yet. A tool for finding security issues in GitHub Actions CI/CD setups. So basically you can scan, if we catch it right here, you can scan your YAML file, your .workflow YAML files, and it will tell you whether or not it's got a problem. does an audit.
Okay.
Not bad.
Hey, what type of problems does it detect? Do we know more about it? See.
It's hard to catch. I wish I could pause the GIF,
Yeah.
or if it would just sit a little bit longer. Let's see what it finds. So it finds some may expand into an attacker controllable code or something. Oh, that was like injection. So I don't know.
You know, I'm a freak about using CLIs. I use CLIs most of the time. But I do like to write everything in VS Code. So write VS Code. Perform some operations, CLI. And observe web UI. Kind of those are that's how I split what I do, right? Now with that in mind, I'm not extremely fond towards tools like that. I think that it would be much more useful for me if I get that information while I'm writing that YAML. Whatever that information is.
So what you're saying is, as it hooks in, as you're writing it, it should tell you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I want IntelliSense. I wanted to do, control space, autocomplete. Cool. Shows errors there. Oh, you cannot put integer to a boolean, right? Whatever it is. You cannot write this YAML. This YAML is incorrect because it does not comply to the schema of the thing that you're trying to define, right? GitHub Actions, for example, right? Because GitHub Action was the example there. And among other things, whatever security injection, the thing that I couldn't detect what it does because it goes too fast, I want that there as well. Now,
I think that.
Just to be clear, we should still run some processes through CLIs or what's or not as a way to validate, right? Kind of, hey, in workflows, in pipelines, oh, you cannot pass if it doesn't comply to this and that. So I'm not saying let's do everything in VS Code, but VS Code or whatever you're using is the place where I want to see it the most, because I don't want to detect that I did something wrong after I did it. I want to find out that I'm doing something wrong while I'm doing it.
So basically,
does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. And so basically what you're saying is you want a VS Code extension that calls the CLI to do the work.
Yeah, I mean,
because we don't want to have a separate
behind
process.
Behind the scenes, I couldn't care less, right?
Well, no, you do care. You do care, and here's the reason why. Because you're wanting to run that CLI after the fact, through automation, whatever's happening, right? Wherever it is. So you don't want to have a standalone extension that is written one way and the CLI that's written a different way, unless they're using the same rules engine under the hood, I guess. I want to make sure that data set is the same.
Yeah, so I also
that's the hard part.
And if there is some configuration, which I don't see in this example, but I wanted to work against the same stuff. Yes, I don't care much whether behind the scenes it is executing CLI or somebody rewrote the same thing to be not CLI. As long as for me as a user, I can do this. I can get verifiably same results afterwards when I run it in my pipelines. I'm fine.
Right. So modes, this one sent me somewhere else. Okay, so do that. Operate, you can do offline, which is nice. You can do it right against the repo. Output formats. Okay, well, that's... Okay, let's see what the installation says. Oh, it's available for brew. Okay, fair enough. Because it's written in Rust, so it's cargo.
Yeah.
So is there anything else here that's worth looking at? I don't think so. Oh, the audit rules. Let's look at the audit rules, see how many they... So, artifact. The heck is artifact? That's just a made-up word.
I mean, click on word and what, and you'll find out.
Yeah. Dangerous triggers, excessive permissions, hard-coded container credentials, imposter commit, non-vulnerable actions. That's not bad. Rough confusion, simple injection, self-hosted runner. Yeah, those aren't bad. High levels, so.
Yeah. No, another problem that I'm having is that there are too many tools for linting or scanning. Right? And that's fine, because I like competition. I like people coming up with new ideas. But on the other hand, realistically, if I need to, I don't know, execute 57 different CLIs to get all the stuff, that all types of validations, verifications that I want to perform, that might be a bit overwhelming.
I agree with that.
Maybe some kind of tool that would combine them all. And it's not only about, actually the list of the problems is whether, especially in pipelines, right? Whether I'm going to execute 1 command or 10 commands or 20 commands. I mean, it's not such a big deal because, you know, you do it once and then you're done. But then going through the outputs, through the results, that's a nightmare, right? Because now you have 10 different outputs in different formats with different expectations. You know, maybe we would need something equivalent to, you know, OpenTelemetry kind of. Okay, if you want to have 57 different tools, go ahead. But they all output in this format, and I couldn't care less what the format is, as long as is the same. Otherwise, I go crazy trying to figure out what all of those wanted to say and how much I care.
I like your OpenTelemetry idea. Let's stay there for just a second. So getting the data out, I imagine in OpenTelemetry world, it would have to be logs, right? We couldn't use metrics or traces for that. That wouldn't make sense, I don't think. Static scanners, right? I mean,
You know, it doesn't have to be OpenTelemetry, just to be clear.
no, but
Right.
that's smart
Yeah.
because then if we can, again, we've talked about this before, the Datadogs, the New Relics, the App Dynamics, they've all moved or in the process of moving to OpenTelemetry, including everything else. So why not have the output from CLIs also be able to output in an OpenTelemetry friendly format and just ship to the collector? So instead of just saying -- file JSON, say -- file open OTel or something.
Yeah. Then, you know, I put those types of tools, and you're probably going to now yell at me. I put it all into the category of testing, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
And probably the same kind of, that hypothetical output could be the same for whether I run my unit tests, functional tests, or linting, or this or that, right? Kind of, that's all validation, verification phase. Figure out the format. Agree between yourselves.
Yeah, that would make too much sense. Maybe we're going to start something today, November 8th, 2024. Somebody's going to listen to this. It's like, hey, those guys aren't completely crazy.
Yeah, and the important part is not only different format. Aggregate all that. Show me it once. That's the point.
Well, when you say that, I'm thinking through the stack of CLIs in my head. That's basically a make file. I wouldn't use make, I would use task. Put all those things together, but then getting that data massaged into a common format so you can actually aggregate and do whatever. And when you said OpenTelemetry, it's like, well, heck, put it on the CLIs.
Getting them in a common format from, letting them output in whichever format they want, and then massaging the data to get a common format, that's something that never works, right? It breaks easily because somebody changes something in there, one of those 57 apps, and you haven't seen something. I mean, there are many, many reasons why that would not last long before it would break. I don't want that. I want those tools to output it to a format that we agree on, and nobody has to massage the data. Something might need to collect the data and group it together, but that's fine.
And that's OpenTelemetry today.
Yeah.
Now instead of being OpenTelemetry, it would be open, making
testing.
up new names. Not open testing. Open analysis.
Validation. Analysis. Yeah, there we go. Analysis.
I like open analysis better. Quick trademark that. Does anybody have the domain for? We should get the domain name quickly. No. So anyway, boy, we went off on a rabbit trail there. Just from your videos over the past couple of weeks, you had CI versus CD versus GitOps. And then also this week was from Docker to Kubernetes. Ooh, I'm not even going to go there. It's just, no. And then a couple of you only had one answer in the past 2 weeks. You have an answer this week.
Yeah, it's KubeCon.
It's KubeCon week.
Before KubeCon, I'm just going crazy with the amount of things I need to do.
Not to mention actually getting there. Right. That's
tomorrow I have like close to 24-hour trip, so that's not going to be pleasant. And then once I'm there, I'm going to be losing my mind. And once I'm back home, then I will be losing my mind with all the pending tasks that accumulated. So I will be normal.
It's okay.
2 weeks.
In a few weeks. Yeah, in a few weeks. No big deal. And then you and Whitney had to, in fact, did you close out? So you did Service Mesh the week before, and this week was the miscellaneous. And typically the miscellaneous is right before a KubeCon for you, which is...
Yeah, there is only one more left.
Oh, there is one more.
Recap.
The recap, okay.
And the full demo. Going through all the choices people made.
And what was this season again? What was its
observability?
Observability.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then you get to see Whitney. And then we're recording a podcast next Thursday, Friday for y'all's recap on the ground. She'll remind you, by the way, since you're going to be there. And that'll come out the Wednesday after. So not next Wednesday. Next Wednesday we have someone on from, I don't remember where. But we have a guest this coming Wednesday. And then the Wednesday after that will be our KubeCon recap. The last one for 2024, right? There are no between now and the end of the year.
No.
That's the Now, is this your last trip? Official trip? Work trip?
Last trip this year. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to turn on the heat when there is still no need, but by the time I come, I will have to turn on the heat where I live and then not go out for a few months.
Yeah, you really don't like the cold.
Oh, you have no idea how much I dislike the cold.
Okay. Just so...
Where I am right now, I'm not comfortable anymore going out in short sleeves.
Okay. Well, I know that's bad. So here is Salt Lake.
That's the reference.
Yep. So it's 4 right now in Salt Lake.
Okay. See? Come on.
Okay, let's look at 10-day. So when it gets below what for you? When is that cold? What is cold?
15 Celsius.
So the high today is going to be 9. So looking at next week, that's basically the high is 15.
They're going to find me exactly. So I need to find those 3 minutes and run out to warm up. Is that what you're saying?
That's basically what I'm saying. Yeah. But there's no snow. It doesn't appear.
Now, this will be probably the least problematic cold KubeCon I will be at.
Why do you say that?
And the reason is very simple. The most problematic part, most of the time I spend at the venue, it's usually not cold, so that's fine. And then at night comes bar hopping. And that's where it matters, whether it's cold or not. But there will be no bar hopping in Salt Lake City because there are not many places to drink alcohol.
That's true.
So it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
I'm going to find a place where I can eat and stay there.
And stay there and stay warm. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's kind of only 3 points throughout the day, right? Hotel, venue, restaurant, hotel.
Yep. You said you had a 24-hour trip to get there?
Yeah, it's
How many stops do you have?
2 stops.
Oh, that's not too bad.
London,
New York?
somewhere Salt Lake City.
Oh, probably Atlanta. Are you flying?
Denver, I think.
Oh, Denver. Oh,
No,
ooh.
I'm not sure. Anyways, it's a long one.
Well, yeah, if London to Denver would be a long one for sure.
Yeah.
But also,
you had like 3-4 hours. I tend to never on when I go to States, I tend to never take flight that is 2 hours or less between. Because when you arrive to States, you need to go out
and come back in.
Get your luggage, go out, come back in. You know.
Yeah.
And that can take a while.
Yes. I ran into that coming back from Australia once in LA. That was a mess. But
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Hey, again, are you already there? Or are you still getting ready to leave? Do you? We'll see. Because
he will be. If he's not there today, he's coming there tomorrow 100%. Simply because I know that he has to be on rejects.
I'll suffer this time. I have a layover in Atlanta for an hour and a half. Oh,
That's not long.
no, it's not long.
If you make it.
That's the problem.
If you make it,
especially in Atlanta. Oh, he arrives
you will have
tomorrow.
to run from a plane and.
Yeah, because
Okay, so here's advice, and again, if you want to make it, you're not checking in your bag. Kind of, just if you cannot put everything in carry-on, well, the solution is not to check it in, but just turn the underwear upside down, kind of, and then you can wear it 2 days.
Well, I'll put it this way. Everybody have a good flight if you're going to KubeCon. I'm glad I'm not going because it's not even that far from me. I could have flown up there in, I think it's probably a 2-hour flight for me from where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I could drive it, but it's snowing like crazy in Colorado, so I wouldn't be able to get there easily. Like, nope, I don't need it.
Yeah.
Don't need it. Okay.
I mean, 2 hours flight, that would be a long drive, right?
2-hour flight would be about 10-hour drive.
500 miles? No, more than, yeah.
No, that's about right.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
500-600 miles is about 10 hours.
I mean, yeah, 10 hours. Okay, so yeah, I can never get used to it. For you, 10 hours is not a long drive.
It's not a big deal.
I would be going crazy.
Unless it's in weather. That's when it becomes a big deal. But in normal, nice, dry, not freezing, 10 hours is easy. Anyway, yeah, it's very, very odd for most Europeans. 10 hour, because what's a long drive to you? 2 hours? 3 hours?
Yeah, I think that's like 2 hours. Anything above 2 hours, I'm thinking of train.
Train, right? But see, you have that option. I don't have that option.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of. So let's say up to 2 hours, I'm fine with the car. Often less. Often even when it's an hour, I'll take a train. Anything between 2 and 5, 6 hours train, and then plane is for whatever is above that.
Yep. Any KubeCon sessions talks that Victor is excited to attend? Victor doesn't attend.
I rarely go to talks. Not because I don't think anybody should go to the talks, but because there are so many people to see and so many conversations to have that I spend most of my time elsewhere. I mean, in the corridor.
That's where you'll find him, and Ingen has a carry-on. That's good. Okay. Well, let's wrap it up. That way Victor can start thinking about maybe considering packing.
No, I'm packed.
Oh, you've already packed. I'm shocked.
This time was special because I was in Norway 2 weeks ago, right?
Oh, so the bag is still packed.
The luggage was lost, and I picked it up on the airport when I was going back.
So you're going to use that bag?
Now, arguably, I packed for 4 days, and I will be 9 days in Salt Lake City. We'll see what will happen. I might need to find
washer dryer,
shopping mall or something to buy more clothes. But I thought, man, kind of this is packed already. I'm not going to now open it and start figuring out. No.
Because you had packed for Norway, right? Which will be
I packed for it. Yeah, kind of
be comparable weather-wise. Yeah.
Yeah. So temperature-wise, I packed for. It's as if I packed for Salt Lake City, right?
Oh, that's good.
The question is only the number of days.
Yeah, that's why washer dryer is for, or just go buy some new clothes.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, most of my clothes is bought at the airport. I hate shopping, and then when I say, I don't have enough T-shirts or whatever. Okay, cool. When am I traveling next? I have always an hour or two to kill at the airport anyways, right?
Pick up a couple of things and off you go.
Yeah, exactly. It's a perfect time for shopping if you don't like to shop.
Anyway, so we'll be back in 2 weeks. Victor, have a good time in Salt Lake. Say hello to Whitney. It should be a fun one. I wonder. Okay, so let's make a bet right now. Actually, I don't know what the bet is. Do you think there will be more people at this KubeCon than there was at the KubeCon in, what was last year, Chicago?
Paris?
No, in
The
US.
last in States, Chicago.
Detroit. Okay, Chicago.
I would guess give or take the same.
About the same?
Salt Lake City, from attendance perspective, is not necessarily the best location. I
Which
mean,
one?
I heard it's beautiful, and so I'm not rushing right now, right? But kind of, I'm guessing it's not the well-connected city, right?
No, it's a very well-connected city.
Oh, really?
It's one of the biggest cities in that area. Yeah.
Okay. I thought kind of like that there might be quite a few places that don't go there, kind of direct flights type of situation.
Oh no. It's one of Delta's main hubs, and so it's a
no idea
big it's a big city. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what I imagined. Okay,
It's not as big as Atlanta. It's not as big as Dallas.
Yeah, but as long as you're in States and you have direct flight, I think that's fine.
Yeah. So, if you see Victor in the hallway, say hello to him. He may be having a few hundred people around him at the time, but just wave.
No, ping me. If so, this is the message, right? If you're a KubeCon, ping me. I'm always looking for people to chat with. So
Ping him in the Slack. So if you're not in the Slack workspace, links to it down in the show notes. Join up there, and you can ping him directly right there. So anyway,
yeah.
Victor, have a good trip, and we'll talk to everybody again in a couple of weeks.